Hello viewers of this video, and welcome back to the RedstoneInnovation channel. I'm sorry guys that it's been a while, but actually I really shouldn't be recording this video at the moment because I have homework out the wazoo from being absent, from being sick. I have had pneumonia for a while now, and I'm still recovering from that, but instead of doing homework, which I really ought to be doing, I decided that, you know what, it's really time to record this. Enderheart requested this of us almost a month ago. He wanted us to make a wind detection system that would basically just count up points for a team, for example, and then give you an output based on the points of the two different teams. So what we have is a couple of signal strength counters, which we decided are much better for this than a piston counter, because this single block can count all the way up to 15, whereas a piston in a piston counter can only count up 1. So this can count up 15, which is pretty awesome. So every level you add will add 15 to your total amount, so this can count up to 45 for both teams, which is pretty cool. And we added a rollover system, so when the bottom counter hits 15, then this will fire, and then therefore allow this signal to go into the second signal strength counter, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool stuff. It operates very quickly, so you can just spam this lever and it shouldn't miss a single signal. Yeah, actually, yeah, so let's just demonstrate that now. I'm just gonna spam this lever and you'll see that piston fires after 15 flips of the lever. So what you'll find here is that this is at a full 15 signal strength, and then this one should be, yeah, just at 1. Because that's as many times as I flipped it. I flipped the lever 16 times, apparently. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, so yeah, then you got your reset circuit here, which will drain it. You got one for both sides. Pretty cool stuff. And yeah, the circuit is actually very compact in itself. You got the S gate, which we compacted down from the original video. I'll explain that in just a moment. And basically outlined from this redstone block to this redstone block is the signal strength counter, which basically does this. It will count up a signal strength of 1 every time you press the button. So as you can see, it'll count up signal strength, just like that. This is our more usable version of the signal strength counter. We'll refine it down a bit, but for now we wanted a design that would be flat and much better for use in a logic circuit. Now here is the S gate, which I'll explain as quickly as I can. Basically, it'll give you an output based on the two different input signal strengths. So let's say this side had an on signal from this last lever here. Let's just quantify those two. Now, obviously, this on signal is greater than this off signal, so output to this side. Now, however, if this side receives an input from the middle, this signal is then stronger than this signal because it's closer to the S gate. So therefore the outputs will swap. They'll swap positions and they'll swap to the other one. It'll block off this one, and then yeah, same thing here. If you swap it here, then this side has a greater signal, and yeah. However, when they have an equal signal, let's say they're both flipped to the first lever, there will be no output, so it'll just have 0 as the output. You can also set it so that it has an output of 1 when both signals are the same. However, I do prefer it to have the off signal. So yeah, let's just go ahead and build this thing, I guess. I don't know, we'll set up shop right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off with the S gate, which is the heart of it all. You're going to set up comparators like this, 2 going left, 2 going right in a zigzag kind of pattern, fill in those gaps with redstone, and then set these 2 outer comparators to inverted or subtraction mode if you want it to have no output when both signals are equal, or off if you want them to have an output. Both of the outputs to be on when they are tied. Now we are going to build the signal strength counter, which goes a bit like this. You need a capacitor which will hold that signal strength, and that goes right there. You're going to take the signal from that capacitor and lead it into a comparator on subtraction mode, and you're going to place a solid 15 signal strength power source behind that. It's going to go into a block, into comparator, into block, into redstone on a half slab, lead that over, and then into another comparator on subtraction mode. Give it another signal 15 behind that, and then leave a block gap, and then comparator back into the capacitor. That is going to be you're going to complete this loop with this transistor right here. So when this piston is powered, which you'll do so with redstone on the block adjacent to it, when that redstone is powered, then this piston will be powered. Complete that circuit for just a moment, allowing the signal strength counter to count up just 1. Alright, now we're going to do the other side, which is exactly the same. So I'm just going to do this quicker without much explanation. Remember, this is on a half slab. That's more important for the levels below, but still it's good to get into the habit of doing that. Alright, once we got our bottom level, I'm just going to add that real fast. Once we got our bottom level, let's just go ahead and add let's do a couple more levels just in case. Better for demonstration. You're gonna have our S gate right there, and then we're gonna build that signal strength counter again. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. I've made that mistake too many times now. And this is why it needs to be on a half slab, because otherwise it'll interfere with that piston below it. Oops. And one more real fast. I'm sorry if this is kind of boring. There we go. And then we do the same thing on the other side. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah. Now just remember, if you want to have any more, if you want it to count to more than just 3 times 15 as I'm building here, just continue the pattern of what I started here. Just continue building up these signal strength counters. They are very stackable, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the tutorial on this version of the signal strength counter and not the other ones. This is by far the most flexible. I believe it's the most compact that we've made so far. I think we'll release a tutorial on just a very compact signal strength counter. This one tall version just won't cut it for a, like, if you just want one signal strength counter. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Also keep your eyes peeled for a video that will address problems with the input signal being too fast for this circuit. While you can spam the lever and it does respond very well to that, I'll try to make a circuit that will process faster signals and try to slow them down. Okay, so once you got the main chunk of it, as far up as you want to build it, so this is 1, 2, 3 levels, and that will count to 45, 3 times 15. What we're going to do is we're going to find those dots of redstone that power the transistor pistons in the counter, and you're just going to power that dot of redstone with a block and a repeater on 2. That does need to be a 2-tick signal going into those those pistons. Sorry. Now on this side, you do have a few choices. You can power. Okay, you can power these pistons from this side if you want. However, it does make the rollover system a bit harder, so I would recommend powering it from the other side so that it's exactly the same as the other side. Alright, once we got that, now we can start the rollover system. So basically you're going to make sure the bottom is always going to be powered, because it never doesn't need to be. Pretty logical if you ask me. And then we're just going to lead redstone up half slabs like so. And then you're going to complete that circuit going into those like that. So just a piston that will push a block and complete and conduct this redstone into the signal strength counter. Let's just do that on the other side, and then we'll start actually wiring the rollover logic, of which there isn't much, but yeah. Oh, this is weird. There we go. Didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna add those pistons here. Like that. Now you're gonna control when these pistons fire by taking a signal from this block here at every level. Now when you take a signal from this block, it's gonna go up into here. When you take a signal from this block, it's gonna go up into here, and so on and so forth. If you have more levels, then you can take this signal and lead it up into here. That does make it a bit tricky. However, you should be able to find a way to do it. It's not too difficult. You just might have to wire it around or something. But for this, I'm just going to just ad-lib it. So that signal, yeah, you do need to invert it. Make sure to keep that in mind. Just the signal from this going into a torch and then into the pistons. So it does need to be inverted. And there we go. It's close enough. Do the same thing on this side. Oops, darn it. And you'll see what happens is when the capacitors here are full, this signal here, it's kind of difficult to see, this signal here will turn off, and therefore let that redstone turn off, let that torch turn on, and then therefore power the next level's piston, so that the signal can pass through onto the next signal strength counter, and that's how the rollover works. Now we might be wondering, okay, so now you've got a signal stored in here, how do you reset it? Well, that's what I'm going to be building next. And no, you don't have to break that redstone. Now, if you do have a taller circuit, and like let's say over 5 tall, then you're going to have to do it like this. Have sticky pistons, which will take out the blocks in the capacitor, and therefore break the circuit. Yeah, that's how you're gonna have to do it if it's taller. So I don't know how you want to go about it. You could have a torch there, and then invert it every level or something. That's pretty easy wiring. You should be able to do that pretty easily on your own. However, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to do this. I'm gonna take a regular piston, and then have it push up a glass block. And what that will do is not allow the capacitor to pass the signal through the glass block, because it is a transparent block. So what you can just do is stack glass blocks going all the way up, and when this piston is powered like that, then all of a sudden the capacitor is faced with a glass block, and since glass is a transparent block, it cannot be completed anymore, and it drains the capacitors. So then you just need a piston that will push this all back down. You might need one more on top. And the way I did that is with a capacitor going into that block there. Make sure to power that, and then have a repeater coming from that block, lead into redstone, back into the piston. Now as soon as this signal down here goes off, this will push back down. Because the piston is powered through the repeater, and a comparator always gives an update to the block in front of it, it will go ahead and push that stack back down as soon as the signal on the bottom turns off, which is pretty cool. Now I'm just going to build the same thing on this side. Yeah. Hope that's it. Comparator, power it, repeater, put it back, and then there you go. So that's your reset and your rollover system, and that's how you stack this circuit. Pretty cool circuit if you ask me. It does have a few things that could work on it. Many different variations of this circuit. As you can see, we've done a crap load of testing for this thing, testing in various prototypes, but yeah, we did a tutorial on this one because this was much more logic circuit friendly, because it is one high tileable. It's got this improved S gate here, and yeah, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for improved single I don't know, how do you call this thing? What do you call this thing? A single redstone counter. We have very compact ones of those in the works. We've got hopefully I'll be able to sort out signals that are too fast for this thing. And yeah, then I'll post a video about how to solve that too. And I just realized I forgot something. You're going to want to lead a signal into this that is 1 or 2 ticks long. So I'm just going to use a 1 tick signal here. However, I did make sure to stabilize it into a 2 tick signal here. It does need to be a 2 tick signal in the end. So 2 tick signal. And as you can see, this did count up 1. Flip it again, and that repeater should be powered. Yeah, there you go. So that works the same on both sides. You just need to power it with a 1 or 2 tick signal. Pretty simple stuff. Alright, so this has been a long enough video. This has been the RedstoneInnovation channel. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, we thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out our past stuff, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that cool stuff. See you guys next time. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for those other videos related to this. And yeah, see you guys next time.